It's been quite an interesting week, and of course we have the biggest show and biggest conversation, and with a new member of the team. The beautiful Auntie Milon is in the house today, but she'll introduce herself. We meet in some spaces, but not here. Simon,
yes,
take it up.
Hey, yes, I am indeed Simon Says, the content creator who says what he thinks, and at the same time, I keep it real, rough, rugged, and raw, which is every single time. And I'll always keep it real right here on Let's Be Real. Maria, introduce yourself.
And as always, I'm Maria Nyambane. I'm an author. Marriage is a scam. Love the original you. And nannies, a way of family planning. Oh, and most importantly, I am happy to be here, and I'm happy to see you. I'm a stalker, by the way.
Auntie Milon, let's do this.
I know, right? Being stalked by a woman.
Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Okay. My name is Auntie Milon. I am a content creator. I create a safe space for you where you can speak up to unlock your power. And today, I'm here to create
Fill up
that
the
space.
To fill up the show.
And the seats. Clearly. Hey, we need to get
Oh, the mood today.
Yes,
Wow.
it's the truth.
You
Where
need
we
to talk to your boss. Next time when she's inviting someone like me,
Yeah.
they work on
Bigger,
the seats.
bigger seats.
We have taken notes clearly. We're just keeping it real. See you. Let's start.
And I'm CEO Charles Otieno.
Yes.
Well, let's start the show.
Yes, but before we start, let me
Yeah.
pour myself some wine real quick.
Oh, yes.
Because I know it's about to get real. Let's go.
You're the only one who's drinking wine today.
It's
And
all
you
right.
need it, you need
Shout
it.
out to Dr. C, Samantha's Wines.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes well with good conversations like right here on Let's Be Real. Let's go.
Wow, now this week, and next week, of course, let's start with next week. The Saba Saba is on the cards.
Tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Saba Saba.
Yeah, it's tomorrow.
Kenyans on the streets again. But what is happening is that there's a lot of anger with many Kenyans today. You remember Diangui, arrested, disappeared, reappeared. Homa Bay, the guys burnt the police station. Ole Kalau, people burnt the police station. The youth are rising. Gen Zs are rising. The government seems not to react correctly. I don't know, what's your take?
Maria, you want to start?
Yeah, I want to say that we are being treated like kids with tantrum. Like we just throw tantrums over issues. If this is happening, the government is treating us like we are just throwing tantrums. So, and when it comes to gentle parenting, what do? If a child is throwing tantrum, you put them down to calm their own emotions down. The problem is the youth right now are not throwing tantrums in a manner of that's something that can be ignored. But the government is doing a really good job in being calm about it. Now, here is where the problem lies. If they do not at least respond, we'll keep doing that. The youths are not going to get tired. I think in their minds they thought that eventually it will slow down or they'll get tired. But they're not going to get tired. They're still going to do that. So I feel it's time they speak up, they make the changes, they do something. Like we said last week, we want them to do. Because it's not about going, because eventually whoever comes next, they'll still do the same. It's about them to do. So if they don't do right now and wait, I was hoping that because they know people will be on the streets in Saba Saba, they would have spoken, like just speak. Make them come, hold a press conference, say something, because you know what they're coming to say. You know what they're asking for. It's not like it's the first time they're doing it. They are going to come back. And I'm hoping they will not create another anniversary for Saba Saba to come and remember the people that they lost during the Saba Saba. Because it cannot be the same story over and over again when the only thing they need is do. Just come and do the right thing. What do they want? This is what is needed. The economy is crashing. People are going hungry. The jobs are lost. A lot of things are happening in the country that the youth are angry about. And they're angry because, you know, they have numbers. Let's start with they have numbers. So I think it's time they speak. And if they don't speak right now, are they going to speak during campaign seasons and tell us, here is our promises? And are we going to be coming to those campaign meetings while they're on top of their cars telling us?
Here's the thing, Maria. They are speaking. And I want you to even hear them. Here's what's going on. Kenyans, please be well aware of the tactic that President William Ruto is implementing right now when it comes to how he's pushing back against even the protest and, of course, even about even his government at this moment in time. Here's what you need to take note. When it comes to the president, here's what's really going on. He has first started by actually now diverting from the issues that the protesters are actually coming about, yelling about. Police brutality, economic issues, but he's now making it a what? An issue about economics. And then he's pushing it in the sense that he's trying to say that indeed the protesters are fighting against economics. Pinning what? The protesters against economics, saying that they are sabotaging your ability to actually get money, sabotaging their people's ability to actually now fluid business. That is what he's trying to pin against. Then he's going further. When you go further, you now try to now villainize the people who are actually protesting against you. How do you villainize them? By saying within these people, there are goons, there are criminals who burn down police stations. These are people who are going against the nation, who are people who are going against Kenya itself as a whole. He's building this narrative, and then he goes further. Now, immediately when he's established his narrative, in comes in. Who? What's her name? Esther Passaris. She comes in with her bill. Now she comes in with her bill.
Call her
for
correctly.
What is her name?
Muzoni.
Mso comes in. Sasa Mso comes in. And then now she comes in with her bill. Now she actually now starts stating that indeed we need to put measures in which we protect who? No, not the protesters. We protect ourselves, the legislators, institutions of government. We're not here to protect necessarily you. We're here to protect us, all right, from you. Now, this is what they want to do. They want to villainize, criminalize every person who actually stands up against the government. When you see a government doing that, they're building up walls between themselves and the citizens, and they're busy playing politics instead of being leaders. So President William Ruto at this moment in time and the whole regime are busy doing what? Playing politics and not actually being leaders. A prime example. This Diangui, for example, it's a prime example. The DCI is a flagrant liar in the sense that the way Ojwang, he just slammed his head against the wall. It was accidental, nothing mad. That's how it was. But they don't want to, they would never admit to that. What they would do is they'll build up narratives that Dangui was a person of interest. And this is a narrative that they've done to counter. Notice, these are moves the government is making to villainize every protester as you go out there tomorrow. Please take note. The government is actively making moves against you because they don't want to cater to you. Isn't that right, Millie?
I agree with you.
Auntie.
I am your auntie.
Yes, auntie, tell us.
Yes, I agree with you. However, I'm going to speak for the contestants, for the protesters, because have you ever attended one? Have you ever gone to the street?
Yes.
You have?
Never.
Have you? Have you?
No.
Of course, yes.
She hasn't.
So I'm putting in the spotlight. Anyway, so I'm going to speak for the protesters because I feel like there's anger, as you put it, yes, because the government is not listening. No one is listening to these children in this manner. You see, there is something that is happening now. The people that are protesting now, they are well aware, and they're airing out their issues, which is something that the government was not used to. Millennials, our mothers, they were not speaking up, and they were aligning their thoughts according to the leader within the community. Like if Raila says so, something, that's what they're going to follow. But these children, they don't align to any tribe. They don't align to any tribe, and when they go out there, they know what they want, and that is why people are not listening to them. So you see, the same narrative that the government is pushing out there, saying, oh, that guy hit his head on the wall. What did they do at the funeral? They did the same thing. They went to a police station, they lit it up and said, oh, there was just a matchstick somewhere that lit itself and now it's burning. So they will use the same tactic that the government is using on them to pour out their anger. And indeed, there's anger and there's frustration in our youth, because if the government is not going to do anything about this, my friend, we are going to end. We are still going to have an angry generation who they don't have trust in the government, they don't have trust in the system, and if it's not going to be solved, we are going to have a big problem at
No,
this
it must
point.
be resolved. It must.
How
It's
are
not
they going to solve
no,
it?
no, no,
Because
no, it must.
let me ask you
let's
something.
Let's not say if it's going, it must
Let
be
me ask
resolved.
let me
Yeah.
ask you something.
Yeah.
Okay, President
You
Ruto.
can call him, Kasongo, hey,
One
go
time.
ahead. Hey,
Please
go ahead.
don't come for me.
Hey, go ahead.
Hey,
Go
Lord
ahead.
is the cure now for Subaru.
Wow,
I'm
we're
like,
not, we're
no.
not moving in fear. We're not moving in fear. We're
Yes.
not moving in fear. Go ahead.
But you know we have to be safe at the same time.
Yeah, because
We use protection. Continue. Continue.
So, Miri, what are you saying? Proceed.
go ahead.
Okay. You know, I'll take it from, I love poems.
Yeah.
This one of the best poems I've ever read is "The Revolution Shall Not Be Televised." Jill Scott Heron. But I always say, with this generation, the revolution shall not be digitized. Why? Because we have 18 million young people in the country, jobless, looking for opportunities, and a government which is as adamant as anything else. It reminds me of the 17th century French Revolution, Queen Antoinette and the bread. It is the same thing which happened in Russia, the Tsar regime, and the killing of the monarch in Europe. Remember that the monarchs in Europe, the political class in Europe, at a certain time in history, civilizations reinvent themselves. At a certain time in history, empires crumble. And the Kenyan empire, the way it was formulated, is on the precipice. It doesn't matter who is the president anymore now. The political class must be reading the signs of the time. And they should be seeing that the young generation have decided they do not like the way this political class is running. It is not, I said it's not about Ruto only now. It's not about the president. It's about how they are being governed, which has brought a lot of inequality from independence. And all those things are simmering down into a revolution which is coming to the time we are in now. It doesn't matter even if it's Rigiji and his boys who are now trying to get into power. This thing will consume all of them. It will not consume Ruto and the government only. It will consume each and every politician who thinks that the status quo is the same. This is a shift. It's a tectonic shift like on the earth. They'll never be the same again. Things have happened. The youth want a proper, organized and well-governed country. Number two, the youth want equal opportunities and resources, and they want jobs. If you're not going to provide that, then maandamanos will be the order of the day until they achieve their goal.
Exactly. And even the whole mantra, Ruto must go, is not necessarily even about even Ruto. It's even about even, first of all, corruption and impunity must go.
Yes.
Your tone, even how even your dress, even what you call it, the citizenry must even go. Even the way even you implement even servicehood. You are there for the sole purpose of providing a service to the Kenyan people and to represent their interest, not your interest. When you get there, then you represent your interest. We will not only stand up and shout, but we will say, you, like Ruto, must go. From MCA, MP, women rep, senator, all of you must go.
You see what you've just said is right. Now they are regrouping, and you see we don't even have opposition now because they've known that things have changed, how the youth want to be led. And that's why you see all of them have gone to one side. Do we have opposition now?
Oh yeah, we are the opposition.
The opposition
But are they active?
We
are the opposition.
We are the opposition.
Yeah, we are the opposition.
Like right
but
now,
do we have the opposition in the government?
I don't really care. MPs have been taken over. House has been captured. Even
So
CEOs.
it doesn't matter now because when a government like Ruto's forms a broad-based government, it doesn't matter who the opposition is. The citizens rise up to be the opposition.
Yeah.
And the citizens play their role. Remember that say, the state shall, but not may. Remember that gentleman who said,
Yes.
the state shall be led by people they choose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So when there's a broad-based government in which now all the corrupt leaders come together, it's only time for us as citizens to actually rise up and be the real opposition. Yes, that's the main thing.
Let's move
Maria.
on to the next story,
Let's
Maria.
go to the next story. We remember last year around September, October, there was a very popular baby oil story that trended. Well, we are talking about P. Diddy. P. Diddy was accused of so many crimes, from racketeering to sex trafficking, and recently he just got away with them. Do I say he got away? Let me start by saying the jury stated that he was innocent of some of those crimes, and the ones that he was guilty of were not, let's say, they were not heavy enough to put him in jail long term. So those are the ones that were guilty. But the ones that we thought would be like, you're going to stay in jail, like let's say someone like R. Kelly, that would make you stay in jail for longer. Those one, he was declared innocent. Now, that is one. Two, but however, the brands that he had and most of the privileges that he had have been taken away from him, because in as much as he won the case, the jury was okay with him, the public, the businesses and everything else he was representing, they have started to pull down. Is there hope for him in the future? Did he actually win fair, or did he actually win fully? Or is just going to be a slave in the society when it comes to business and any other thing that he will want to pursue in future?
I would say there's a merging trend. I'll speak for the victims. There's a merging trend of when celebrity grow and then they reach a certain level, then stories start coming out. Like, he did this, he did this, he did that, he did that. So I think for me, I would say P. Diddy is another story like R. Kelly. I love R. Kelly to death, despite the things he did.
Peeing on girls?
I love his songs, honey. And I'm not going to hate on him. There's a reason why I'm not going to hate on him.
Because
so I'm going to tell you why. Because you see, when these things are happening, when these people are working out in their career, no one is coming out to speak. You get me? Like P. Diddy, when this young boy who said, what is his name? Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber,
Yes.
yes.
When he came out to say all these things, and then people starting to read in between the lines in his music, they were like, oh yeah, this thing was happening. Why is it that they didn't take notes when these things were happening? That time he was a young boy, right? And he was under his mom. I believe if those things were happening, he spoke to the mother, and the mother should have picked it up. You get me? But that time, because they wanted the boy to grow and be a star, they kept quiet. So when this guy is at the peak of his career, then people come out and say, oh, he did this, he did that, he did this, he did that. Why is it that people are not speaking when things are happening? When someone is now at that level where they're relaxing, or they're not, they've built up an empire, now stories start coming out. They want to bring these people down. So I think it's a trend that if it's upheld, it will affect so many artists. Even here in our country, it will. One day, one time, the stories will start popping up. Now, when they're working with them, they are good people. When I say, he's my manager, he's my mentor. But once they reach somewhere, they'll be like, when I was working with him, he did this to me, he did this to me. So I tend to feel sometimes these stories, they might just be out there to tarnish people's name and to bring their family down, according to me.
Now. Until we've had you.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now listen, Diddy's a freak. Do you know some of the things that he was doing? He was hiring male prostitutes to screw Cassie at the same time. Then after that, after they finish off on him.
Did Cassie come out at that time?
Yes, that is the truth. And even the thing
Did he
is,
come out? Did she come out that
yes,
time?
even the thing is, the reason why he got away was because Cassie was also one of the organizers. Even she said that, when are we doing the next one?
Exactly.
That was the text now. The issue is this. That video that came out with P. Diddy even literally gobsmacking Cassie in the hallway lobby of a hotel. One thing you have to take note is this. The jury was convinced that indeed Diddy was a freak, but not necessarily a criminal on the sex trafficking aspect of things. But in the States, just transporting even a prostitute from across state lines, that is now the lesser sentence, the lesser charge that he actually got accused of, because that's illegal now in some states. In the States now, that's not New York where he's actually charged. Now, when it even correlates even with Kenya is this. I've taken note that when it comes even to Kenya, if you have enough money, you tend to actually get away with a lot of things. You're trying to get away with a lot of things. Even me and Maria were even discussing this, and even she hit me with the reality like, that's true. Because when it comes to now a certain aspect, when you're a broke person and you get accused of a sexual crime, Kijana, you're not even going halfway. You're already in jail, even 1 foot in, before even the charges are even brought even in the court of law. But when you have enough money, you have enough guardrails that you can put between yourself and receiving even the justice that will actually now people want to even prescribe to you. The reason why I would not necessarily want you even to defend him and saying that is because of a certain career. Diddy has always been a tip top. There's nothing even, he's not lost most of his wealth because he's not relying on sponsors. He has built an empire, all right? He's not relying on that. It's the fact that all of this actually even started when he started giving pushback on Diageo, saying that indeed his Ciroc brand was not being put out there all because of racism. All of a sudden, after he started saying that, pa.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Now, that's a take note of this. This society is not a matter of whether you're upright or a good person. It's a matter of who are you connected to in order to safeguard what you've actually even built. That is a fact. Isn't that right, CEO?
It's true.
Yeah.
True. What I feel is that, first of all, I cannot defend Diddy whatsoever. The moment he was hitting Cassie is totally wrong. You cannot hit a woman on a public place like the way, or even in private. It's naturally wrong to do that, to be violent. If you know you have a career, you have a name, there are things you cannot do. One, you cannot be involving yourself with prostitutes. You cannot be involving yourself with racketeers and people of questionable character. But I understand the state very well. The state, any successful black man will always suffer at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But don't make it easier for the white people to find you.
Yes.
Diddy made it too easy for the white men
To find him.
to find him
And attack him.
and attack him.
Yes.
So you started sleeping around with many women, hiring prostitutes
To even do your own girl.
to do your own girl.
Eyes.
My
As
friend.
you watch.
I feel like even Justin Bieber was just a trap for him.
But
No,
what I know is one, when it comes to, you see, like Diddy, if Diddy did not have the empire he has, he would have been found guilty. Let's not dismiss the fact that money also plays a big role in making people get their freedom. Let's not dismiss
Good
that.
lawyers.
A good lawyer.
Yeah,
actually.
good lawyers.
They are paid well, but
Yes.
that's not the only thing. That's
No,
not
in
the only
America
thing,
is a
actually.
good lawyer. In Kenya, it is good money will keep you out.
Yes.
In America,
But
a
you
black
see-
man with money will push you back to
But you
jail.
see, that's affording that lawyer. There is that part of
It's just
affording that
affording the
lawyer.
lawyer,
Affording
yeah.
that lawyer.
Yeah.
Because like when the jury was coming out, one of them actually came out and they actually wanted to push one jury out because they were not agreeing in some things. And then all of a sudden the jury comes and then all of a sudden all of them are the same team. They are agreeing to one thing. But in real sense, no, by the virtue that there was video evidence, he was not supposed to get out. Let's also speak the truth. Because there are so many things that proved him guilty before he even got arrested.
You have to look at the charges, though.
But then, but another thing is, now let me put that in the context of Kenya. In the context of Kenya now, if your brand is tarnished today, tomorrow it's up, like it never left.
Yeah.
The one thing about Kenya is
Yes.
trash me enough to be famous.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'll make more money by you trashing
No,
me.
become a politician.
Good, that's not even a politician. Not even a
A
politician.
celeb, influencer.
But you see in Kenya, if right now you tarnish my name, that's a plus for me. So if I'm not known, and let me tell you something, just look at the trends and the patterns of Kenyan celebrities. If their brand goes down, there has to come a scandal or something big or do something to clout for them to be known. So and then next thing you know, every brand is lining up to work with that person. So I don't find it
agree.
fair for Diddy to lose the business aspect of it. Like I don't find it fair for people to pull
I
out.
just wanted to correct you and tell you that separate Kenya from America.
No.
The difference between our celebrities is they're not wealthy people. There's something about wealth and rich.
We
and
have
rich.
broke
Because people are
celebrities.
very
These are
rich.
broke
Our
people.
celebrities
So
value
forget
the name.
about
They
that
value that
idea.
name.
Yeah,
That
those
name.
are people who
Yeah,
are
they
looking
don't,
for money.
they don't build wealth.
Yeah,
So
they
long as
don't.
I have a name,
Yeah,
people
those
know me
ones.
when I
Those
walk
are
and they're
very
going,
broke
Auntie Milan,
individuals.
Auntie Milan. I am okay with it.
Those are
But
broke
when
individuals.
Yes,
But
but
let's
when
move
it
on to
brings
the
the
next.
name, the
No, but you
People
see
don't
now
build
business.
empire with
Diddy
with
didn't
their
have
name.
to lose the business. I feel like it's unfair for him to lose the
I want
business.
us to move to the next story. Jeff Bezos.
Oh yeah, what happened to him? Oh, he got married.
Yes.
To the plastic surgery lady who looks like this.
Seriously, Simon.
But wait, before I say anything,
Yes.
Dr. C has something to say, right?
Simon.
Yeah.
Dr. C has something to say.
Yeah.
Abu says it, Dr.
Yeah.
C. Abu, Dr. C, go ahead.
Yeah.
Hi everybody, Dr. C here, Dr. Katherine Masita coming to you from the studios of the Standard Media Group. And today I want to review the wedding of Jeff Bezos. But before that, I am CEO and founder of Samantha's Bridal, and more recently Samantha Wines, which we launched. And Samantha's Bridal, we help people navigate and truly celebrate life's greatest moments, such as weddings. With over 21 years of distilled wisdom and helping couples celebrate weddings, I feel I can chime in on this, what I call the spectacle. It was a spectacle of Jeff Bezos' wedding in the historic city of Venice. It's a beautiful city. I've been there with my husband. It's beautiful, and if you're a Gen X and you grew up on the Mills and Bones, you knew the romantic wedding or the romantic affair always ended up in the girl being taken to Venice. And I think so that Lauren Sanchez, whom I loved, by the way, I used to follow her before she deleted her YouTube channel. Being a Gen X, I can understand why they went there. Now, for a country like Kenya, that is, are we still in third world? Why should we concern ourselves about the wedding of a billionaire such as Jeff Bezos? I'll tell you why. We need to concern ourselves because increasingly this wedding actually it shows the disparities in the world today between the haves and have-nots. And particularly, this is bringing it home to Kenya because we need to be asking ourselves certain questions. We need to be asking ourselves questions such as, yes, we are celebrating all this public consumption, like, you know, people are consuming so publicly, they have so much money, but what kind of money are we celebrating? You know, there are many questions we need to ask ourselves, but I want to say I'm not here to condemn the wedding. I have to say that Jeff Bezos is one of the he's the world's richest man. He can do whatever he wants to do with his money. But we as Kenyans looking at this public spectacle, which all over the world, I'm sure you know about it, we should be learning a couple of things. It should reignite conversations within all the spheres about corporate social responsibility, but also the environment. So let me paint the picture in case you may not have followed. This wedding was valued at about, he spent 50 million, 50 million US dollars on the wedding. And like I said, it was in Venice. The guest list read like Forbes who is who. You know, Oprah Winfrey, the Kardashians, everybody, Hollywood, including Donald Trump's daughter was there. Like everybody who is anyone in the world on the Forbes list was there. The wedding happened at Santa Maria, I forget it, but I know the church because I was in that church. Maggiore, yes, Santa Maria Maggiore. I may get the name wrong, but it's a beautiful, beautiful city. Now, what are the problems of Venice right now? First of all, Venice is sinking. We have very few years to actually enjoy it. It's a city that is sinking. It's a true representation of climate change, okay? Number two, there's over-tourism. There's a problem such as over-tourism. In the other day, we saw people in Spain actually rioting. They didn't want tourists. And the problem of over-tourism is such that over-tourism has turned Venice into a sort of a Disneyland. Can you imagine you live in a city where even you cannot afford to live there because the rich people come and buy you out? Everybody is running an Airbnb, so even the locals don't live there. So that is a problem. Now, talking of the environmental impact and these weddings, now, these two stages, the world's richest guy having a wedding and you are having this stage where Venice is, of course, that is a recipe for disaster. And therefore, we also that people were rioting. So I want to just put some context. This is not from me, but it's a context why these people were rioting. Number one, there is the haves and have-nots. You know, the locals of Venice are being outpriced. And why should it concern us even as Kenyans? It should concern us because as we are celebrating all these people who are rich in the world, yeah, we should concern ourselves, are they paying enough tax? Yeah? Is the taxing system fair? But even then, what kind of money should we actually be celebrating? And now I want to bring it home. Very often we are seeing, especially politicians, we elected them yesterday, the next day they are busy celebrating, they're wearing these watches worth 7 million, and we know their salaries. That is a problem. We should be asking questions when we see this public consumption, and especially when you cannot account for where the money is coming from. Now, you might say, because he's the world's richest man, he's entitled to actually spend this money. But we are looking at, there's been reviews about corporate, the way the Amazon employees are being treated. An average Amazon employee is earning something much, much less. So that brings in the questions, even coming back to Kenya here. You're seeing disparities, earning disparities within certain organizations. We are looking at corporate social responsibility, the environment. You can imagine all those jets who landed in Venice, and all the vaporators, they have these vaporator cars. That is an impact on the environment. It is a really, really big impact on the environment. We are also looking at issues such as public versus private spaces. He literally rented this space, the whole of Venice. Now, how do we bring it back to Kenya? You know the land that is being grabbed in Kenya. Just because you've got power, you've got money, you can grab land and build and take up spaces that are actually private. On the other hand, so they say, okay, it was a big bonanza, 50 million being spent in the local economy, but we need also to bring it back home and ask ourselves questions. All these public events that happen, or also the big events that happen, even here in Kenya, do we ever audit them? Can you imagine the whole of Lamu closed down for a big fat wedding? Do we ever? Like, not even just weddings alone. We need to start auditing these events. Do they have impact? Or there are just a few people who actually pocket the money? And even event planners need to be put to question. So what is my call to action? My call to action is that we need, as Kenyans, to start actually asking questions like, are we just getting the money? Or is this money actually creating proper jobs? I've talked about, we need to look beyond the glitter. Looking beyond the glitter and saying, like, what are we celebrating? Yes, it was glamorous, what kind of money should we be celebrating? But I want us as Kenyans to start asking critical questions from such international or even local spectacles of what we call public consumption, conspicuous public consumption of wealth.
Yeah, that's what Dr. C had to say. But even for me, even right now we're celebrating rich people. There is second richest or third richest man in the world getting married to literally his plastic girlfriend, wife. And have you not seen that lady? She has BBLs, LLLs,
No.
even,
Simon,
even everything about her
Simon,
is
enough.
inflated.
Let me tell you something.
Have you not seen the girl?
No, she's chosen to make herself look beautiful. Can you not call her plastic?
In which context?
No, I disagree.
Auntie, tell us. Auntie, tell
That's
us.
what I disagree.
If I have money, I can do anything I want with my
Simon,
life.
take us to a break.
We'll come right back after this, but we'll discuss this a little bit more. All right? We'll keep it real with you guys. There's a lot more. Stay tuned. Well, cheers to you for keeping it right here on KTN on Let's Be Real. We're just discussing about Jeff Bezos and his plastic wife and the fact that even, are you admiring her plasticness or her balloons that she has and other lips that she's gotten right there? She can barely even eat properly. So she had this. Continue.
I'm just admiring the money that the husband has. But I love to be original.
You would never get any plastic, no nothing?
Nah, honey, look at me.
Hey.
Yeah, already.
Okay.
I can't.
But tell us about that other story that you got for us before you tell us about his perfectness. What's his other story you got?
Before to end the break, nitasimama. Yes. So,
go ahead, tell us.
So how do you move on with your husband when he has had an affair with your sister? How do you move on with your husband if you find out that he has had an affair with your sister? So I'll give a backstory kidogo.
Tell us.
So, mini wa story. So
Tell us.
So this girl, I'll just share her story a bit. I won't mention where I knew her and everything. So there's this girl I knew when you were young, and she used to live this lavish life where she changes her hair after every 2 weeks. And that time we were in college, and I was like, Mimi, but I can't even change my hair. You get? So we started like having a conversation, and one time I asked her, then she was like, oh, I'm being sponsored by my shemeji, that's how we call it. Shemeji, you know shemeji, right? So later, when we finished school, then she disappeared. And then I started asking my friends, where did this lady go? And then they were like, her sister found her with her husband. The husband rented a house for her somewhere. So she was living there. So one day the sister started trailing the husband, and then she found the husband in her house, in the action. So then she was like, what do I do? And then that really ruined their relationship. She had to chase her sister out. So the husband has rented a house already, but this girl is still living with the sister. So every time she would lie, I've gone for an interview or somewhere. Kumbe, that's the time they were meeting in that house that he has rented. The second story, I'll just rush through. So there's this lady. Don't say that my friends are.
I'm not saying anything. I'm listening though.
Yes. So this lady, the husband is moneyed. Like you saw this moneyed. So the husband has invested in real estate and built a couple of houses nice. And she's not doing anything. She's just our housewife. The only thing she's doing is bleaching herself, making herself look beautiful. Yes. So, and then you see the way people tell stories. So sometimes we'll go sit with her, and she'll tell us how her husband is good, is a good man, provider, does everything good. Then 1 year later, the sister was pregnant, but she kept asking the sister, who's the man who got you pregnant? Can you introduce the man? And they said, oh, no, I'll just bring the man, I'll bring the man. Eventually, when she gave birth, the sister gave birth to a lookalike of the husband. So, as the gossipers around, we asked her, we are the ones who told her this. Your sister's given a birth to a child that looks like your husband. Have you ever tried finding out if there was something going on between them? They are, no, it can't be, because the child really resembles her children. So one day she decided to confront. When she did that, the husband just said, yes, I've been married to your sister for the last 4 years. And I've rented a house for her somewhere in Umoja.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Maria,
go.
Let
Maria,
me go first.
Just
Let
go.
me go first.
Just go.
What would you do? This gender will frustrate you.
Really? Really?
This gender will frustrate. And then the worst part is, the mtoto wa kuiba, look alike.
Copy and paste.
Copy and paste. I'll give birth to you and then the children will look like me. But then when I decide to have babies that I'm not supposed to have, look alike. But this is the point. This is a case of whether to choose between my husband and my sister. Blood versus someone I just met recently with who has bad manners. I'm saying that because a normal husband will not do that to me. Yes. My blood versus someone I just met recently who has bad manners. And most of the time, they go for the younger sisters. Most of the time. I dare you to go for the older one. No, the younger sister. No, this is the point. Let me tell you something. If I am in that situation, I'm not leaving my sister to deal na badaye. That one badaye. But you as the man, you are the one who is shameless. Who is, out of the millions of women, I'm told that your gender has less people than ours. Out of all of them, you saw my sister. My parents did not give birth to 2 children for you. You choose one or you go away. So for a man to be so evil, so diabolical, so shameless to go after someone's sister, that is very wrong. Even if my sister comes naked to you, you're supposed to run away. Run, like literally run fast. Or come to me and run to me. Let me find her running towards you naked. But don't tell me that you even rented a home. You are willing to spend, meaning it is all you are doing. I'm not even going to accuse my sister.
Maria. Maria and Auntie. This was a prime example of how women never actually hold each other accountable for their own foolishness and their own actions. They would rather blame even the man, because you as a man, you always be blamed for every single wrong decision that even the woman even does. How in the world can you blame even the man in any one of these situations when it's even the foolishness even between these 2 sisters? And what I can even say is, even go further and say is this: if your own sister dares, goes out and does anything with your husband, you should look closely at your sister and even abolish her, because if there's anything that's one thing that we know for sure, when it comes to access to sex, is the woman that actually gives access to in the first place. A man, if there was an issue of what you call it, it was not actually consensual, then attack your man to the fullest, because that is actually a criminal charge.
Why did you ask
And
for
then
it?
now what I want to go further is this: the lack of accountability that you women never hold each other to is what leads to consistent bad behavior amongst your gender.
Not me.
Amongst your gender. It needs to be very seriously held accountable, because in today's society, it is very, very profitable for women to misbehave and even call it shaming. For example, please don't body shame me, and yet you're over here promiscuous like nobody's business. And then, but who? Shame the man. For what? In case he has a lot of bodies, he's like, oh yeah, even him is, whatever. But then, the thing is, the same women who are saying, please don't shame me, what do they do amongst each other? They shame one another. That is what they do.
Simon,
and that is the fact. And the thing is, CEO, are we not keeping it real on this show?
No, we have to keep it real.
CEO, yes,
Simon,
tell us.
let's underline
Maria
this.
can keep quiet for a second right now.
CEO,
CEO's
I don't
talking.
have a sister.
No,
I don't have a sister.
Let me tell you,
CEO.
I don't see any problem with a man sleeping with her shemeji. In my culture,
Me too.
it has never been a problem. We marry 2 wives, we marry 2 sisters. Who told you that's a problem?
Speak.
It's never a problem.
Kai Maria's face.
In Luo land,
It's
Luya
not a
land,
problem.
Kisi land, there is no problem in
I'm a
coast.
kissy, but
There is
don't
no
try.
You marry your sisters, you get to have an affair with your sister's wife, no issue.
See,
It's
I
allowed.
would only accept if
It's
my man is
culturally
financially
allowed.
stable. If
So
you are
there's no
financially
scandal.
stable. If you're not, I will not accept.
There's no scandal there whatsoever. In
Financially
culture,
stable.
we are allowed
Abolish the CEO.
to marry. I can marry my wife and the sister and the cousin. I'm allowed.
Yeah.
She's my wife.
How many women are in this country, CEO?
It doesn't matter. My culture gives me power to do it.
Okay, now I want to ask Auntie something.
Yes.
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something.
Yes, honey.
If your husband is well off, you can allow them
It's
to
true.
even go with your sister.
Yes.
Can you cheat on your husband? Oh, not cheat. Get a sleep with someone else apart from your husband.
Why would she even
It's
think
not
so?
a woman thing.
It's
Yes.
not a woman
Yeah.
thing.
You see.
Generally, men are born to be polygamous, and women we are
I have a problem with
no,
that.
it's not a matter of culture. It's not a matter of culture.
Even
It's not a
Tesla
matter
is
of
like,
culture.
"Udan,
You
they
see,
know."
the reason why men cheat. Let me tell you the reason why men cheat, because they are married to women who want them. Like you want a man to be only yours, and you control that
Yeah,
man.
you can't.
You don't allow that man the freedom to express himself. Our culture from 1900,
Yes.
it was polygamous.
Yeah.
Let our
Honey,
people go.
let me tell you, I even help my man get a woman. When I'm tired, I tell my man, please,
And
go look
Why
for a
would you
woman.
be tired?
I'm not tired. I'm
Take
just,
energy drinks.
I would invite another woman in my home. So long as it's done well. Not atunenda unagonga huko nje unarudi. No, you just tell me, auntie, I want to bring another woman. And we have a discussion,
Yeah,
and you
it's
go
allowed.
scouting, you bring, I help you pick. If it's not the one that I want, I tell you, no, honey, go look for another one. This one will bring trouble. And then you allow your man. And when your man brings that woman, you're the one to welcome that woman.
In the
Why?
house.
Yes. Why would I
But
do
even-
that?
But
Men,
then there's
cheers.
something. There's
Cheers,
something.
cheers, cheers.
I'm not-
But there's something. But there's
Cheers,
something.
cheers.
But there's something that needs to be said. This is a message to men. Where if you're broke and then you're over here trying that madness,
Yeah.
you
You'll
might
be
be
killed.
too broke to actually go out there and stepping out and try to bring another girl in your relationship. I don't know your bandwidth that you're allowed to do some things, by the way. As we go on to our next story, which is about even age gap, there was like a show here on KTN called Junior.
Yes.
And there was a show, and then one of the stars of the show, he actually had TikTok Live. They were having on TikTok Live, they were discussing even about his age dating preferences. He prefers dating older women, and of course, even a lot of even younger girls even prefer even dating older men. Now, with this now, of course, there's the skewness towards even older people. Of course, I'm thinking maybe people may think it's only economics and everything, but I want to go a little bit deeper apart from, because we had a discussion about dating older previous shows here on Let's Be Real. I want to go on what age range it's a bit too much and what age range is a bit more acceptable. I want to hear this from you before I say my thought. What age range are you seeing when you say, hey, this one you've gone too much or this one is acceptable? Go ahead, Maria. You look distraught.
she's so distraught because of Auntie Milon's.
Go ahead, Maria.
Let me calm down. Guys, I promise you, after the show, I'm going to attack this too. That's a promise. But anyway, I would say this about age. First of all, I am not always judgy on the age aspect of people dating. I'm not always judgy on that. Because love is blind. Yeah, let's put it that way. But if you're dating someone and then you feel like, you know, sometimes, let me talk from a man's perspective. You're in your 40s, you're dating someone who is 18, 18, 19. These people need attention, full of it. And this 40-year-old needs cement. You see,
Yes.
those two do not align.
Are those ones who give them 5,000, they're okay?
You see, that's the point. But then you feel like this is a baby. You know, there's that feeling of this is a baby. So there's that aspect. But but there are people who have actually had healthy relationship with that age gap. I would say there's a sense of maturity of people have different sense of maturity because trust me, there are people who date people of the right age and they are too childish. Literally, they act and behave in a very childish manner that you would wonder, is this really your age? So sometimes it's not about the numbers. Sometimes it's about the compatibility of the aspect. Yes, you cannot go too young. Like, you cannot date someone who is too small. Like, let's say 18 and 50, no, 18 and 40, we are trying to say no. But now we are looking at this aspect whereby sometimes people like those, they make healthy relationships. And for this culture that allows polygamy, I think that is where they get the wives from. We should not even break their hearts.
So Maria, you would date, if you're 40, would you date yourself? You're 40, would you date a 20-year-old? You?
Me?
Yes.
A 20-year-old. How energetic is this 20-year-old? You know, you're trying to speak sense. And how mature mentally is this 40-year-old?
I'm saying
20,
you.
Yes,
You're
I'm
the
saying
40,
I'm
you're the
40.
40, yeah.
I'm 40.
They're the 20.
This 20-year-old, how mature is he? Is he going to be bugging me? Remember, I'm 40, I sleep early.
Yeah.
Is he going to be telling me we're going So,
Yeah, but Auntie, what do you say? Let's get a young one, an 18-year-old.
My darling, so long as you have an ID,
Yeah.
we can.
Hey!
Yes, and so long as you're mature enough, we can date. Yeah, and so long as you know what you're looking for.
Have young ones for sure approach you?
Of course.
of course. Look
No.
at how she
How do you
looks.
feel when they approach you now?
I feel young.
Are you?
Yeah, I feel 18, 16.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but so long as you have an ID and you know what you want and you can speak out, I would allow you and give you a chance. For me, age is just but a number, and age and maturity, they don't go along.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of, are we compatible? Can we hold a conversation? Yes. But
Go ahead.
at this age, I can date 80 if I were to date, I can date 80, 90.
80.
80, 90, yes.
With money,
Hey,
underline with money.
Money. For me, it's about money and stability. Because a man who's in his 80 and 70, they are not working.
He
They are
smells,
not working.
80 and 90, he smells like erectile dysfunction.
Don't worry, honey. I've done.
What is that? He smells like dust.
Don't worry, I'll take care of him. I'll be the nurse. I'll be the nurse to take care of him and make him comfortable and spend his money. So long as I have ATM pin, I'm down.
Yeah, you can buy expensive soap, it'll not smell.
Yeah.
Now, let me say this. When it Yo, I'm shocked with your perspective. This is actually very interesting. Now, for me, as I've dated even older many times, I have seen that indeed there is even a lot of youngness and foolishness even in older ladies. Even that's there. There's that, actually. Yeah, your girls even consistently.
A girl is a
How
girl.
old did you go?
Oh, 40s.
That is
A
still
girl is a
young.
girl.
That's still
Yeah,
young.
that's the
still
40s.
young.
I'm not, what do you think I'm going to go post-menopause?
Try 60, try-
I'm not
Try
going there.
60, 70.
Yeah, you
Try
think I'm-
60.
You'll
Tell
enjoy. Try 60, 70. You know
I will
what?
enjoy what?
You know, they will not bug you. Your work is just take care of them. They give you ATM. They give you money. You drive them around.
You must know
Honey,
golf though.
Yes.
You must golf though.
I do not want to be a man who's just going to end up being my lady's chauffeur. That is not my life. I am so sorry. If there's a
be
man,
spending-
we're not going to be like that.
You'll be
That is
spending
not
more
the life.
time. You'll be
No.
spending more time together as a couple.
Hey, and the thing is also, I would never want the things that you want in a relationship. That's also another thing. When it comes to that, that is a fact. Now, when it comes to even dating, one thing I've noticed as a guy is even when you get older, when you're dating younger, like even let's say even early 20s, let's say even I'm in my 40s and I'm dating other younger, I would not want anything maybe long term. Because let me tell you this, anybody in their early 20s or 2018, anything let's say below 22, 20 to 18 to 22. I think above they can manage themselves properly. But 18 to 22 as a man and you're in your 40s, that girl would not only demand a lot of your time, but her problems would not necessarily link up with yours. She'll be talking about exams while you're trying to figure out this deal. She'll be now bugging you about other issues. There'll be a very limited intellectual exchange of ideas. But she may have an input on other things. Sour. And of course, within the sheets, she's going to be able to go out of her way more than Vivian, maybe the older lady that you're with. Now, to appease you to compensate over her lack of intelligence in other areas. Now, here's the thing. Long term, I say I love you, unless I see there's progress, that indeed you have something ahead on your shoulders that I can see by 25, that you'll be someone who I can actually exchange thoughts. Because in the sense that I don't want to be with a girl who in public I'll be looking like a sugar daddy, I'll be looking almost like a pedophile. So everybody who looks at me, because this girl over here is dressed like a 15-year-old, but in fact her age is 22. That is also something. And also, let's address these girls who are a little bit older, but then they look young. They're also very scary because there's also even an image aspect. I also do not want to look, because you as a man, you will be judged by the woman who you decide to put beside you. That even says a lot even about your worth, and even says about the kind of content even of a man that you are. Not only to even your fellow man, but even to other ladies. So when you go even for that business trip, are you bringing her? Probably not. Because you want to probably bring your wife who's actually more filled up and she can fill up a seat. And now you can actually now know that indeed this is someone who can bring something to the table more than just a body, but she actually brings some intelligence. That is something that you want. You would not want, like CEO, you would not take like a 20-year-old with you to Germany, would you?
Never.
Yeah, exactly.
See, what I tell people is that you must date someone who is mentally stimulating.
Yes.
Someone you can have a conversation. Someone you can walk with and do not feel ashamed. Someone you can have a peace of mind. Age doesn't matter, but is he meeting all or is she meeting all the criteria you are looking for? Because one, you'll be someone will think you're a pedophile. Number two, people will think you're dating sugar mummies. There's a way the society expects us to behave. And we follow into that social structure of how things are done. Sometimes you find that you go too low, that when you go into a family gathering, the girl is already too drunk that you, you do not
She drank all the wine.
She drank all the wine. There's a gentleman. And also, it's a social class and the status. True. For example, I say, personally, I cannot date from a poor family. I can't.
Hey, if you're too broke, there's some girls who are too broke for you.
So
Yeah.
you married from a wealthy family.
I cannot date a woman, a chick from a poor chick.
So you're married from a wealthy family.
Am I supposed to be their parental care? I'm not.
So let me ask you, if you're
Love
dating,
is blind.
if you're dating a woman who has money, are you going to spend her money? Are you
Yes.
going to,
No, I'll spend my money, but you see, you are coming with something on the table.
but what is she doing with her money?
She can do one or two things on herself.
Okay.
You
But you see,
understand?
was he, I'm bringing so much on the table, you're just not seeing it.
Yeah,
You
but
were just
what?
think
Me, I
money.
can, even I
Me,
tell
you're
my
just
son,
not
don't
seeing
marry a
it.
woman
Are you
from a
speaking
poor
up for all the
family.
broke girls?
No, I'm just speaking from the
can date
point
a
of,
poor
I bring
girl.
so much in the table. Stop saying that just because, remember, what does a man bring to the table, really? Really?
Yes,
Money.
a lot.
Really,
They
money,
bring
right?
Yes, and security.
Simon,
Good.
do you know the
Yes.
problem with dating
Women.
a from
Listen,
poor
yeah.
family?
Listen. Eh?
Is because everything is on you.
Yes.
Everything, literally.
Even their cousins,
Yeah.
their sisters, their relatives.
Don't
it
date
comes
from
And
on
that's
poor
why we are
young
looking for
men
men
out
with
there.
money.
If you have money, that's why Uhuru's kids will never date a chick from a poor family.
Because
Ruto's-
everybody will come with their problems.
Yeah.
That
Their
one I
cousins. Suji, my cousin wants to go to this school,
Don't
but he doesn't
date-
have the
But
money.
Why
you
are
see,
you
at the
waiting
end of
for
the day, a man
school
needs
fees?
to have money.
Huh?
At the end of the day, a man has to have a lot of
Yes,
money.
I'll have more
a lot
money,
more money than you.
But do not
Yeah.
date from poor family.
Yeah.
Forget.
Yeah, so men also, let's have standards in this year of
Yeah.
2025. Let's not date broke women, because broke
Yeah.
women will come with broke women problems. Their sisters, their best friends don't have any alcohol. They don't have any drink on their table. They're expecting you to come
buy.
and pay for it.
But Simon, you can do plastic surgery and date a 19-year-old.
Who?
Yes.
Will you do what?
You can do plastic surgery.
I do on myself.
Let me talk to the ladies, don't
Let's-
date broke men.
Right.
When they come towards you, run. That's a plague. It will eat you up.
Run fast.
Let's
Parting shot?
it's funny.
Oh, parting shot?
Of course, do not date from poor families. Please, men out there, date from rich families only.
That's your parting shot,
Yeah.
Wewe?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes.
But that's a good statement, by the way.
Yeah.
And at the same time, men, Wewe, be careful when you date younger girls, because some of those younger girls can know your intelligence and your IQ. You know their problems, because young girls come with their own young problems. Well, they'll make you age very fast. Continue.
Ladies, if a broke man approaches you, run and run fast. Always check the wallet. If he sits on the wallet and you see he's tall, pick it up. Pick him.
I'll say one thing that all of you have forgotten to say.
Say it.
I am not going to choose my husband over my sister. If my sister is, no matter how naked, my sister will run to my husband. Yes.
Ladies need to hold each other accountable, by the
Yeah,
way.
they by far.
Ladies, please hold
They
each other
should.
accountable, by the way. Let's start this new year. Ladies, do better by holding each other to do better, by the way. Don't just talk about your nails, talk about each other's personality and how you guys are not keeping it real with each other. I thought we keep it real on this show. See you.